The SUMIF Excel function can be used to add numbers that meet a specific criteria within a range of values. In this example, I have a spreadsheet with profit and loss statements from 2017 through 2020. I want to find out how much the company spent on each specific expense for this period. So, I want to know how much was spent on advertising, how much was spent on legal fees, etc. To begin, I need a copy of a list with all of the various expenses. Paste it into a blank cell and we're ready to start. Type in equals SUMIF, open parentheses, in a cell next to the first value, and we see that the first value they ask for is range. Since what we're looking for is advertising fees, range tells Excel where to look to find the keyword advertising. Since we're going to be looking at expenses, and expenses are in column A, I just need to highlight the entire column. Now, there's other data in this column, such as sources of revenue and yearly totals, but that's fine. Excel will be able to pick out the data that it needs. Put in comma, and then we see we have criteria. In this case, criteria is advertising. We want to know the total amount spent on advertising. Since we've placed advertising in cell D4, we can either type D4 or just click on the cell that says advertising and we'll be good. Put in a comma and we move on. The final value is sum range. Where are the numbers that will be added? In our case, it is in column B, so we just need to highlight that entire column. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and we get the number that is the sum of all of the advertising expenses from 2017 through 2020. Now, I noticed that the number isn't in a currency format, so I'm just going to highlight the entire column, right-click, go to Format Cells, hit Currency, and then hit OK. Now all values input in this column will be in currency format, specifically the dollar. To apply the SUMIF function to the rest of the expenses, all I need to do is click on the bottom right-hand corner of this green box and drag down. I now have the total spent on each of these categories for the 2017 through 2020 period. In this case, since we were looking for multiple sums, creating a separate list of values was useful. It is, however, not necessary. If, for example, I just want to know how much was spent on legal fees in the 2017 through 2020 period, I would just type in equals SUMIF, open parentheses. Here I typed A1 colon A30. That's the same as just highlighting column A from cells 1 to 30. It's just a different way of noting it. Comma, and I can type in legal fees in quotation marks, and this tells Excel to look for legal fees, comma, B1 colon B30, which again is the same as highlighting cells B1 through 30, close parentheses, and hit enter. We get $110,019, which is the total spent on legal fees. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.